Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today because we have a truly mind-blowing topic to unpack. We're going to reveal the staggering physics and the incredibly hidden waste behind the fossil fuels we burn every single day. We often just flip a switch, turn a key, and take our power totally for granted, right? But when you actually dig into the data, when you trace the journey from the Earth to your engine, the level of inefficiency is almost hard to believe. So get ready, because what we're exploring today is going to completely change the way you think about energy.
All right, let's jump right into part one, the fossil time trap. It's really a matter of scale.
Okay, so to really wrap our heads around our energy system, we first need to zoom way out. Before we even talk about burning fuel, think about how long it actually takes to make the energy we so casually consume. We're dealing with natural processes that operate on a timescale vastly different from our daily lives. Just think about the number 16,000. I want that to sink in for a second. This isn't just a big number. This represents years. Thousands of years of immense geological pressure, intense heat, and incredibly slow planetary transformation.
So let's dive into this. On one side of the scale, we have a single day of human consumption. Just one routine 24-hour period of planes flying, cars driving, factories humming, and cities glowing. And on the other side, those 16,000 years of geological creation we just talked about. It's a completely mind-bending contrast between how fast we devour this fuel versus how long the Earth actually takes to create it.
And, looking at the actual source material here, it spells it out perfectly. Translated directly, it states that the fossil fuels we burn globally in just one single day correspond to about 16,000 years of geological formation time. Just imagine that. Every time the sun sets, we've burned through 16 millennia of the Earth's hard work. It really sets the stage for how precious this resource inherently is, based purely on the time it takes to exist.
Which brings us to part two, the great energy leak. Where exactly does all that power go?
So, now that we know the sheer geological time it takes to create these fuels, what actually happens when we finally extract and ignite them? You'd think that after waiting 16,000 years for a day's worth of fuel, we'd be incredibly efficient with it, right? Well, unfortunately, no. When you see the breakdown, the imbalance is profound. There's a small slice, roughly 35%, that represents our useful energy. That's the part that actually moves your car or lights your home. But that massive 65% chunk? That's entirely waste heat. We aren't even using most of that precious, ancient energy. The vast majority is instantly lost, just bleeding out into the environment around us. The data absolutely backs this up. On average, only about 30 to 40% of the energy locked inside fossil fuels actually becomes high-quality, useful energy, like electricity or mechanical work. The rest, it is literally cast to the wind. It's released mainly as waste heat directly into the environment. We are quite literally throwing away the vast majority of what we dig up.
And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates what that loss actually looks like out in the real world. A massive, towering plume of thick smoke rising into our atmosphere is such a visceral, unignorable reminder of waste. It's not just pollution, you guys. It is the physical manifestation of lost energy. It's a visual footprint of a system that is fundamentally leaky and inefficient right down to its core.
Moving on to part three, cars versus power plants. Let's break down this inefficiency a bit more. We've seen the big picture of this incredible waste, so let's bring this down to earth, to the specific machines we rely on every single day to get to work and power our lives. Take the internal combustion engine in a standard car. It is notoriously terrible at using energy. As the source texts detail, a petrol or diesel engine only converts about 20 to 45% of the fuel's stored energy into actual forward motion. And frankly, the average usually hovers right around a dismal 25 to 35%. Think about what that means. For every dollar you spend at the pump, roughly 70 cents is doing absolutely nothing to move you down the road. It's just radiating off the engine block as heat. Now compare that to a modern electric vehicle, which easily converts over 80% of its battery energy directly into forward motion. The contrast is absolutely staggering. Now, what if we step away from our driveways and look at the power grid? You'd expect massive industrial power plants to be wildly efficient, right? Actually, scratch that. As the source highlights, even modern coal power plants only hit about 35 to 45% efficiency. Natural gas plants, specifically combined cycle ones, do perform slightly better, pushing up into the 55 to 65% range. But even in the absolute best case scenario with natural gas, we are still losing over a third of the energy right out of the gate.
And if we use this gas just to heat our homes, we fall way behind modern tech, like heat pumps, which can actually transfer 3 to 4 times more energy than they even consume.
So the crucial point is this. When we line all these core technologies up side by side, a super clear, overarching theme pops out. Whether it's the engine in your car, a coal plant keeping your town's lights on, or a modernized gas plant, relying on burning things for power is fundamentally inherently inefficient. Our source material even includes an AI summary that perfectly aggregates what we've been discussing, hitting the nail on the head with 25 to 35% for cars, 35 to 45% for coal, and up to 65% for gas. It really captures the broader, undeniable picture of how poorly we currently convert raw, ancient fuel into everyday power.
Let's shift gears to part 4, visualizing energy's footprint. We're really at a crossroads of technology here. We've looked at the numbers, and we've explored the massive timescales. Now consider the actual physical infrastructure required to sustain such a leaky system. Think about the sheer scale of an industrial landscape with multiple towering stacks, thick smoke plumes, and open flares burning off gas. Because our primary mechanism for generating power is so incredibly wasteful, the physical footprint required to feed it has to be massive. But this footprint isn't just an environmental headache, it's a huge economic and geopolitical drain. I mean, for a country like Austria, importing these fossil fuels costs roughly €1,000 per capita every single year. And all too often, the billions spent propping up this incredibly inefficient system end up financing global conflicts. But right now, this constant burning, these nonstop emissions, this is just treated as business as usual to keep our lights on.
But then we see scenes like this. Massive, clunky oil storage tanks sitting immediately next to a sleek, quiet array of solar panels. It is such a stunning visual juxtaposition. This perfectly captures the physical crossroads we're standing at right now. On one side, you have the bulky storage of slow-forming, highly inefficient combustible fossil fuels. And on the exact opposite side, modern alternatives silently capturing energy directly from the sun in real time.
So what does this all mean for us? Well, based on the staggering inefficiencies we have just unpacked together in this explainer, literally burning 16,000 years of Earth's history in a single day just to lose up to 70% of it as sheer waste heat, we have to ask ourselves one fundamental question. Are we actually powering our world, or are we mostly just heating the sky? It's a massive paradigm shift to consider. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this data today, and I really hope this leaves you with a whole new perspective on the energy we use every day. Created by Christian Guggenberger in August 2026.